After Faisal has told us about marathons, which I clearly do not do.
You know what?
And I'm here to present. So, my name is Timothy. Many of you who have come to present here are either chairmen, coordinators of your associations. For me, I am a member. I have been given the privilege to present for all these people, so I don't take it for granted. I'm Timothy. I'm an ostomate. I have an ileostomy for the last 4 years, so not too old. So this is Stoma World Kenya. Stoma World Kenya began in 2010 after a few members who are going for therapy in one of the hospitals came together with the aid of the gentleman who was Makumbi here and formed this association. Many of them are here with us today. We thank God for that. We don't take it for granted that we have chairman with us, we have vice chairman Mary with us, we have who else? We have Lawrence with us, we have Alice with us. All of these were there when they started Stoma World Kenya. 2010, we have Kezia, all of them. Stoma World Kenya is managed by volunteers. All of those I've mentioned here, including us and the ones who are seated here with us today, are all volunteers. We do not have any employees with us. We volunteer our time and our resources and our minds for the sake of Stoma. We have an office which manages our day-to-day work. They are there, and all of them are here with us today. I'm sure you have met them, so I will not dwell on that. About funds, SWK, as the short form of our Stoma World Kenya, is run mainly using funds received from member subscriptions. We do not have a business, we do not have funders per se, but we mainly run it using subscriptions for members. This is supplemented by some support from local international partners. Some of them is like the Guru Nanak Society. They have been a big help to us. They host us during our meetings. They also host our office and our clinic. We are the Red Cross Society. We are partnering with them. We started partnering with them recently. They are helping us with the clearance of bags. As many of you have mentioned, you get donation of bags, but you get the burden that you have to clear those bags. And you have to pay to clear those bags, which is a heavy burden. Many of the times we don't have the resources to do so, which delays. So we have a partnership that is coming on board with the Kenya Red Cross that they're trying to help us clear those bags and take that cost from us. We have the Lions International, we have the European Ostomy Association, Friend of Ostomates, and Stitching Jambo. Hakuna Matata, they're from the Netherlands. Our mission at SWK is to improve the quality of life for ostomates in Kenya. We do this mainly by having several programs. One of the programs is psychosocial support. Many of you have mentioned that you do the same in your organizations. We do this by having meetings. We have tried to have monthly meetings, but because of logistics, sometimes it's not possible to have every month, but we try and have them as many times as possible. Those photos are for our members in that in Guru Nanak Sikh temple. They give us somewhere we sit and we share. This sharing is very important. When I got my stoma and I came back to Kenya, one of the most difficult things that I used to face is the issue of leaks. I would get so mad that I'm having a leak. And my caregiver, who is here with us, she's my wife, she's somewhere here. She'll say hi to you. Yeah. She was my primary caregiver. She taught me how to change a bag. And she's not an ostomy, but she taught me how to change. So she used to tell me, relax. And I used to think that's the worst thing that can happen until I went for a meeting. And one person said they were traveling in a public transport and the bag fell. And you can imagine the feeling that you're in a public transport and your bag falls. And I said, I'm not so bad with the leaks. So it helps when you talk to other people. They are able to tell you the challenges, and you see that you're not the only one. So that is one of the things I really like about these sharing experiences. So apart from the meetings, we also we source and distribute bags to our members. Some photos there. We face also difficulties. As all of you are saying, somebody said that it's like an echo. We are repeating ourselves. Our challenges are basically the same. Getting these bags. People can't buy them for themselves, so we have to look for them. We get donations, and when we get this donation, we distribute to our members. The other thing we do is advocacy and awareness. Like all of you, people don't know about stomachs. I didn't know about stomachs until I was told I was scheduled to have one, and I really protested. But people around us do not know what a stoma is. More so, the people who make decisions about our health, even in government offices, in medical facilities, they do not know about stomachs. So one of our roles that we do is to go out there and talk to people. You can see our members there talking when we have events, government events, churches, sporting events, exhibitions. We send our members there to talk to people and make them aware of what stoma is all about and what's about. Advocacies, we've done advocacy and we've gotten some gains from this advocacy. Some time back, we had somebody who talked to the Senate about stomas. She was a senator, and she talked to Senate about it. And we are glad that we are seeing some fruit from that talking about, because in Kenya, we have a new health system that is being launched. It's called the Social Health Insurance Fund. One of the issues they've said they are going to cover is the issuance of ostomy appliances. That is a gain that we have gotten, and we are happy about it. The question is, we are not sure about the quality of bags, but we continue engaging. It's a plus that they are saying they recognize we need these appliances. So it's a plus. The other thing that has happened is that ostomates with permanent stomas or ileostomies are now being listed as persons living with disabilities in Kenya. Some people might think that is a good thing, others might think it's a bad thing, because we don't want to be called somebody living with disability. But the advantage with this is that you get income tax exemption, right? So it's a good thing that part of your income tax you're exempted, so that you're able to buy the bags, you can be able to get the bags. So at least we've gotten that exemption. During this awareness, we also reach out to people who have no idea and people who are suffering because of lack of information. An example of that is a young man, 9-year-old boy called Emmanuel, who was born with an imperforated anus. He was fitted with a stoma, but because people around him were not aware of what a stoma is, he was neglected, to the point that even the father left the mother, took off. The mother becomes depressed. He's a child with something, she has no idea what it is, and that was the state that this young boy ended up being, with a prolapsed stoma. At least when we got to know it, our stoma therapist and others got involved, and the young man has received treatment to the point that he is now even has been reversed. Yeah. So that awareness is helping us get to many people. Apart from that, we have what we call food distribution. As mentioned, many of our people live below $1 a day. So even accessing food is a problem. Sometimes there's a balance between buying a bag and buying food. So what would give is a bag. So we try and supplement that with our partners. As you can see there with Red Cross Kenya, we do give some food rations to our members. Many of you have mentioned about the price of stoma bags. Appliances in Kenya is also the same. It's expensive. We are talking about 700 shillings. That's about €5 per bag. And somebody has to get to dispose it after 4 days. I look at groups in the UK and the US where people have the luxury of changing a bag every day. 3 times a day. We do not have the luxury of even taking in 2 days of training.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have that luxury. So if we are trying to go for 4 days, you can imagine how much that's going to cost somebody to get those bags. So it's very expensive, and it's something we need to. I'm glad there's a conversation here about how we, as the groups in Africa, can come together and find a way of making bags cheaper around us. We also perform trainings. We have done caregiving to our members. Many of them I'm seeing them here, who have been trained and certified. And we have also given training to nurses around some 4 counties in the country on stomach care. In April of this year, we launched a stomach therapy clinic, and I believe that's the first in Eastern Africa. We are housed at the Guru Nanak Hospital, and we were able to open that clinic. We have a stomach therapist who is providing the care almost free. We are not able to pay him, but he's giving us our services. We have a photo there when we were launching that clinic. So, Donna Lawrence, we appreciate your services, because there are many ostomates who come to us when it's bad. There are wounds around the stomach, and they are unable to manage it. But with that clinic, we are able to help very many ostomates have proper wound care. Awards, Stomach World Kenya was a winner in the World Ostomy Awards 2022. Applause to Stomach World Kenya. With the funds we got from that, we were able to do that training. We went around the country training nurses on how to take care of stomachs. The challenges that we have is just like you've said. You have mentioned all the challenges, getting bags, getting quality bags, the cost of bags is, and it's not just bags, even other appliances, the powders, the rings, getting them is a headache. And that is one of the biggest challenges. If we are able to surmount that, it will be very good for our members. We talk about means and cultural beliefs, where people are saying this is a curse, right? That leads to people hiding, and that is why you can see in almost all these associations in Africa, they've said they are not able to get statistics because we hide. Yeah, we don't want to talk about us having stomachs. You get one, you hide, right? Then you source for your own appliances by yourself. If you're lucky enough, you have relatives abroad who can send to you. But we hide because of these myths, and thus we need to go out more and talk more about it, and we need to be courageous. Us who are courageous. Not many people will stand and say, I'm an ostomy. Yeah. Not many people will stand and say, I have an ileostomy. Yeah. But those of us who can, let's do more. So that people cannot be afraid. We can be able to get those statistics, and those statistics will be able to allow us to bargain for the resources. Funds, that's an obvious story. We don't have enough funds to do what we need to do. But we are sure if we get together in that association we are saying about Africa, we'll be able to get them, and we'll be able to do a lot of good for our people, right? I wanted to give my story. Everybody has given their story. I don't know if we have time, but all I would say is that I got this stoma in 2020. I have been diagnosed twice with colon cancer. First time in 2014, got a resection, did chemotherapy. I was good. The doctor told me that because I have a very strong familial, our family has a strong colon cancer presence. He told me the best thing for you is to get your colon out. And I asked him, you're talking about what? Get what out? I need to get rid of your colon. And I refused. In 2015, I said, there's no way you're getting my colon. I'm good. You said I'm good for now. Let me take my chance. Some years later, 2019, cancer came back. Went through the whole regime. Went back to the doctor and he told me, I told you we need to get rid of this thing. I was like, I was still not satisfied. Decided to go out of the country to get a second opinion. I didn't trust him. I was like, I need to get a second opinion. Went for a second opinion, same story. We need to get rid of this thing. Because if you don't, you'll be back here in 2 years and it will be worse. So I had no option. I decided, let's go along with it. At that time, I had no idea what a stoma was. I had no idea if there's any Kenyan who lives in a stoma. So there's somebody who talked about social media and Facebook and WhatsApp. And they said Facebook might not be very useful. For me, it was very useful. I found Stoma World Kenya Facebook page 2 days before I was going for surgery. And I wrote a message there asking for help. Anyone in Kenya who knows about stoma? I'm saying this is stoma. What do I do? And within minutes, I had numerous messages, replies, telling me, don't worry, it's okay, we're good. With that, I got the confidence to go ahead with the surgery. And with that, I got the confidence to stand here to tell you about Stoma World Kenya and what we need to do more about stomas around the world. So I am privileged to be here. I'm happy that we have this conference. And I'm just happy, I'm overwhelmed because I'm seeing enthusiasm in this room. And with that enthusiasm, we can be able to achieve a lot more. So thank you very much for listening.
Okay, this was the last of the presentations. Stop this. No, don't do just it. But Lawrence, you wanted to say something.
Good afternoon. I can't even add or subtract a dot after my very ego member has done a wonderful job on it. And like you said, if you close your eye, you think it's one country being talked about. My boss, I just said, except for the accent. So the only thing that I've stood here is not repeat what has been said. But everybody has been lamenting about the aspect. I want to talk about the clinical aspects now, from this as a spectrum, okay, as a professional. So I want to see the gaps in terms of stomatherapists from this side as we see patients, okay? So that's the only thing. I'm not going to repeat anything that has been said, but I think it's just that. And of course, you know where we are, and you're there, and you can see where you came from. That's our beautiful continent and countries. And the reason I put that is because you can see yourself, can't you? Can you see yourself?
No.
That's it. It is somewhere. And you know something that Muhammad said earlier on is about KYO. Know your estimate, okay? It's like this telepathy, because 10 years back, that is what questioned me. How do I know? Because I just gotten the skills and all that. But how do I know what my estimates are? And sometimes they say in the clinical aspects, evidence-based. You have to show the evidence, okay? So, and that is exactly that. That is the email. That's the email. This was 2010. Dancer Foundation. Dancer had a foundation. And so blindly I went to their website and said, I would like to know how many ostomates you have in Kenya. The only way I can know that is by creating a group or trying to get some to be trained. And how would you say, out of the blues, they replied and say, Lawrence, I think it's a very noble project. We'll support you. And that's how Mary and a few others, the initial members, they became the initial home visitors in 2013 from that funding. So, as has been said, you've already been told about what Kenya is, but I really wanted to say the role of a stomach care nurse or an ostomy resource nurse, what you call ORNs. For me, it is very crucial that they become an integral part of any ostomy association for the clinical advice. And for me, of course, other than teaching, they're advocates, and they're the link, they're the liaison. I can tell you in my practice, I get patients from the hospital into the community. They may never see the oncologist or the surgeon again for a long time. I'm their main contact. So they teach, they advise, and they do record keeping and research. Of course, we want to have what everyone has said here, data. So as you see your patients, like even in our clinic, I can see how many patients have I seen for the last 1 month. If somebody asked me for the 10 months that the clinic has operated, what are my numbers? I'll show them. These are, I've done 115 consultations, I've seen 80 patients, you know what I mean? These hard days, this hard days. So for me, record keeping is a very crucial role in terms of data for a stoma therapist. And of course, but as you go on, what are the, everybody has said problems, yeah? But as you go back, it's good to have a summary from a patient's perspective, yeah? What are the commonest? Because you hear these commonest problems, yeah? It is from a, as you all talked about that, in red, leakage, isn't it, yeah? Do you know why this is important? So that you can pass across the same message across the continent. Say a bag that does not leak. Faisal has been talking about a perfect seal. Get my point? So leakage is on top of the list. And of course, the porting size, type of bag, availability. So the reason we need to have all these at the back of our mind is that we can speak one voice. Even at AOA, we have all these common problems. So we don't have somebody saying, no, we don't have problems with bags in Kenya. What we have is another problem. But across the continent, everybody said affordability. If I said across the continent, everybody said about leakage. Even the people who want to come in the future to maybe do manufacturing, they know the first key issues for across the board, isn't it? Fair enough? And then of course, people already talked about that. The noise, the profile of the poacher, the clothing, people, in a trade area, because I've got some of my young housemates who still want to go and date, they don't want to be seeing something popping out on there. So are we able to, as you go on, to get better porches that still dignify you? True or false? And then what, like everybody has said, they wanted to challenge each of us the opportunities for growth in summary, yeah? We all have, sorry. Okay. I'll skip about because there's been overtalked. Leadership, Alex, practical goodwill, eh? Whether you like it or not, at some point you will have to engage with the policymakers. You will have to engage them at some point. They may be annoying, but at the end of the day, they like, how can I call it? They like creating milestones with us. That's okay. We can do the donkey work, no problem. Eh? But I realize that they love flying with already laid structures. So for me, policymakers, they have to be engaged at every, whether you like it or not, you have to involve them. And then, of course, we've already talked about, we are big on capacity building. Training. One of our biggest pride, as I will show you in a short while,